This is the last video that I will make on the life and suffering of Sir Brante, but I really want to make it because I want to congratulate the author for creating such realistic characters and the fact that they actually understand how power struggles in a society happen. They seem to understand how revolutions take place and what are the machinations behind the curtains. And as I'm going to describe this character to you, you're going to probably make a lot of connections with things that are happening in the modern day. And it's also that the developers have another game called For the People that seem to have something to do with communism and how life in a factory is like. I'll have to play that later on and I'll make a review of it if you guys want. But yeah, no, clearly I don't know who the author is, but they have deep levels of understanding on how power fluctuates. So this character is an actual social justice type. Like she is what, well, she's not a Marxist because it's from a different universe and uses a different ideology, but she uses similar tactics of agitation and propaganda like the people in the USSR used. And what's interesting is that unlike Gloria, which is just a character that comes from nobility, like she didn't work a day for her life, so she's very selfish, this character legitimately experienced suffering in their life. When you first meet this character, the noble that she is under abuses her, and you have a chance to rescue her or not. But you then find out that she also has the ability to cast magic. And in this universe, the level of magic that she uses isn't very powerful or out of the ordinary, but it is enough to bring the Inquisition upon her and basically try to rob her of her free will by robbing her of magic, like putting a collar on her, shackling her, and making her disappear. So she is a person that's actually being persecuted. And it justifies why she wants to rise up against the nobility. It justifies why she wants to rally the peasants in order to change the way society functions. So at the capital, she manages to have an inspirational speech which gathers people next to her. And if you choose to follow her path, then you become an activist. You become an agitator. You're the type of person that wants the world to rise up. And you get to live in bad conditions, like in the basement of a house. You get to couch surf a lot. I mean, it's a very difficult lifestyle if you decide to follow this woman. And she creates this interesting protest. Like she organizes this protest where the government wanted to burn at the stake a couple of witches and mages. And she wants people to rise up and peacefully protest. But after everyone is gone from the room, she comes eye to eye and tells you that the real purpose for the protest is for violence to happen. Like she wants the guards to attack the people that are protesting. And as the violence takes place, the newspapers will have to write about it. And she wants to get the attention of a wealthy noble that is more sympathetic to the people. So it's very interesting how these manipulations take place. I mean, there's one thing in the forefront. It's like, okay, we're going to peacefully protest. You know, there's nothing bad here. And then behind the scenes, it's like, no, there's going to be violence. Like people will die. Like you need to, like you're one of the lieutenants. You need to make sure that nothing bad happens to you. So the protest takes place, and you get the opportunity to actually rescue the mages. And you know, there's a big commotion. There's a big fuss. Things go as planned behind the scenes. I mean. And then the woman just disappears. Like for a couple of weeks, you don't hear anything from her. And then when you do hear from her and you go to the meeting, the guards storm in, and she uses a magic spell in order to immobilize everyone at the meeting. So you get arrested, you get put in a dungeon, and you get to see the co-conspirators, like the other people, getting hanged. So eventually it comes out that she was working for another noble, which is like the equivalent of the CIA of medieval society, if you will. Like he was part of the secret arm of the government that gathers information and deals with the secret police. And he wanted to create a problem that he would be the perfect solution for. He wanted to create this civil unrest to justify the government giving more power to him so he can fix the civil unrest. And since he was the one that created the civil unrest to begin with, it was very easy for him to just eliminate all of the people involved. Now, he finds you useful because you managed to organize all of these things. So he gives you a bag of money to go with this woman and start a newspaper back in your town so you can start agitation and propaganda in another province to repeat this whole thing, to basically like start over. And what's interesting is that this woman tells you that you're going to have to recruit people that are loyal, and you're going to have to lie to them, because she knows that once the usefulness is done, all of those people are going to be executed just like before. And chances are you and her are going to be executed as well. So it's really interesting, because yeah, now you're like the owner of a newspaper, and you're recruiting all sorts of agitators. You're reporting the news in a manner to enrage the peasantry. You even have a very progressive name for your newspaper. It's called The Last Straw. And that's the movement that you create. And you promote all of the priests that are preaching heresy and misinformation, while you're demonizing all of the priests that are preaching the actual religion, like the conservative religion. Whenever a noble that is not on your side does even the smallest bad thing, you put him under scrutiny. But when a noble that's on your side does something really bad, you ignore it. And my favorite thing is that there's a revolt in another town, and this revolt causes the city to burn. So now people are trying to relocate. They're trying to go and find another place to live. They're refugees. So you go to a wealthy merchant and you tell, like, have a warehouse and feed these people, right? Because it's for the greater good. Like, the peasantry will love you if you do that. And then the conversation comes from another noble and tells you, like, no, you need to tell these people to leave, because these people are causing civil unrest, and eventually the guards are going to come down, and the guards are going to use violence in order to suppress the civil unrest. So people are going to die if you keep allowing refugees to come in. But she wants that to happen. Like, she wants that because then it creates more unrest, that it sparks the heart of the revolution. So it's a very interesting character. It's very interesting how the author understands how power is done and how the revolutions are being made. Especially because when you look at the bigger picture, the peasants aren't really benefiting. Like, this is still a struggle between the nobility, but the peasants are used like some form of vector to justify one noble getting power over another. To justify, like, okay, this unrest happened under your watch, so it's your fault. Like, you're incompetent. Put me in charge, and I will fix it. I will solve all of the issues. So I really enjoyed it. And honestly, like, she's just a horrible character. I mean, yeah, she suffered, but she's also okay with making other people suffer now. Like, she's okay with using other people as pawns. She doesn't get attached to anyone. And when she finally gets an ounce of power, she becomes a bloodthirsty tyrant. It depends on how you play the game. Like, there can be different outcomes to this, but I mean, it's exactly what you'd expect. She's such a manipulative person. Like, if you invite her to a dinner with your family, she knows exactly how to behave and how to speak with the nobles and how to be a pleasant person. And then she knows how to speak with the peasant and be a pleasant person there. So she's almost like this person with many masks that can manipulate people, and like a chameleon, just put on different emotions and different facades in order to get liked and be accepted into any group that she goes in. Plus, she kind of looks like a Marxist university professor, right? Doesn't she? I mean, look at her face. It kind of gives me that vibe of some university professor. So, yeah, I mean, kudos to the author. They managed to make a really good character. And, yeah, I would consider her to be evil, but at least unlike Gloria, I can understand why she is evil. I can understand why she does the things she does. Gloria is like a peasant in a noble shoes that has the negative traits of both. Like what one person in the chat said, she lacks the humility of a peasant and also the noble of air of the nobility. And so it's like the worst of both worlds. While this woman, you know, like, I think why people might hate her is because she poses that she cares about other people, but in reality, she's just out there to save her skin. And many people end up dying because of it as a result of her machinations. But I guess, like, you kind of understand it because it's like her self-preservation. Like, she just wants to live. Even though she probably knows that in the end, the CIA noble is going to have her neck for what she does, so that all the loose ends are being covered. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.